reducing our single-use plastics or reducing plastic use in general. And you think that this would have and I actually don't disagree with you, this would have like a positive impact, like if we used less plastics.
If every single person on the world used less plastics, then totally. However, it's hard to get everyone on board, especially when plastics are so easy. So it makes sense that we use... people use plastic. Right, it makes sense that things are going wrong. However, there's some steps that we could totally take to make things better, and we're just not taking. Okay.
Question for you. Would you consider not wearing makeup?
Yeah.
Well, that would reduce your usage of sort of disposable products. Often,
of course.
Makeup comes in like plastic containers.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe you're wearing just a bit of mascara or eyeliner.
Yeah, I'm wearing some mascara, some concealer, some blush.
Okay.
I use the companies that I know like don't test on animals and are cleaner brands. I mean, it's hard. So I want to wear makeup because it makes me feel pretty, but I understand. I understand where you're coming from with that.
Well,
I scale like fake hair.
You feeling pretty is more important than the environment?
Me not buying a tiny bit of concealer made from a vegan brand probably wouldn't save the entire planet. However, if all women on Earth said, what if we all stop using makeup, I'd totally be on board.
Yeah, well,
and I don't use makeup every day.
Sure.
My makeup lasts me months. And I try to use clean brands that don't give out so much fossil fuels and aren't as bad for the planet.
Well,
however, I don't want to go out in public feeling sad every day, so I like putting on a little bit of makeup.
Well, I mean, the cosmetic industry is such a global behemoth. I mean, it's billion, multi-billion, maybe even in the trillion-dollar industry. But it is interesting that...
Preying on women's insecurities.
Yeah, sure. I guess I would agree with that. But look, it's just interesting to me when, I think on the... The primary drive of environmental, what's the term for it? Environmental, what's the word?
Conservation.
No, there's another, it's evading me. Environmental pollution is typically through corporations.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the individuals versus corporations, although like these corporations are doing these things in furtherance of individual level consumerism. So they're kind of inextricably linked. But it is interesting to me that if we were to get rid of, and I don't think makeup really serves any utility except, I guess, as you said, making women feel better, I guess. I think there's not an actual, like, for example, like spoons and forks have like a utility, like we use that to eat. I guess you could just use your hands or whatever, but there are certain materials that are made that do have a negative impact on the environment that have a utility. I don't think makeup has any actual utility, and I'd love to see all these...
How about Viagra? Why is Viagra a thing? That doesn't have utility. Why do we make Viagra?
It's such a ridiculous point.
Trying to say that
I could argue it, but it's just such a ridiculous argument.
Viagra is not a necessary thing, and men get it for free from the doctors. And birth control is not free, but we have to pay for birth control.
All the talking points
I'm just saying, if you're trying to play gotcha with me,
it's not a gotcha.
Yes, I wear makeup. Yes, I have socks on from CVS, who isn't a great brand. There's lots of things you could play gotcha with me about the environment. However,
I think socks are necessary, though. I'm not against socks.
I'm just saying, yes, I understand that, I'm not the poster child for environmental protectionism.
Sure.
However, I'm saying there are steps that the government could even just take to, lower carbon emissions.
Well, the only reason I brought it up is you're like, well, the world would be better without humans. I assume part of your argument here is that due to the humanity's impact on the environment and our harm to ecosystems and whatever, part of this relates to environmental and ecological, oh my God, why am I keep blanking on the words, to pollution. And I was thinking okay, well, here's one simple thing that you could do on the individual level.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be great actually if all women did it, is just cease your consumption of makeup products. And I'm asking here, if we can do a call to action here on the Whatever podcast, would you be willing to make a environmental commitment to stop wearing makeup entirely for the rest of your life for the sake of the environment?
If some study said that only me stopping wearing my small amount of makeup would save the planet, then I definitely would do it.
But you would agree?
But
Makeup could be natural. You could use beat to put makeup on.
This girl.
I'm
You're killing me.
Devil's
You're killing
advocate.
me. Yeah, clearly. Go ahead.
What are you gonna say?
there are so many things I could do that would like when I get my own car, I'll try to get a hybrid because I know that's the best for the environment.
Okay.
When I take showers, I try to make them shorter. If I'm shampooing my hair, I'll turn the water off and shampoo and then turn the water back on.
You don't even have to do that.
But I'm just saying.
Stop wearing makeup. That's it. That's my ass.
But your thing is like you're like trying to play a gotcha moment. Stop wearing makeup. There are so many other things I could do.
Then do those things also.
I do those things.
But also,
my
stop
choice
wearing
to wear a
makeup.
little bit of makeup does not make me a bad non-environmentalist person.
I think if you're going to
It does not matter. And you can keep playing gotcha with me, but honestly, I don't give a so.
Well, I think if you're going to make the argument, and you did say that individual
Earth would be better without humans, or what?
On the individual level, you said that we can take actions to reduce our environmental impact.
And I take many
And I'm
actions.
simply extending to you a call to action. Stop using your makeup products, which are pollutants, and they use plastics, and there's like even some of these makeup companies use like child labor in other
I
countries.
don't buy from those ones.
Well, to your knowledge.
I make a conscious effort.
You research all the
Yes.
makeup you
You
purchase.
think the champagne you bought wasn't made with
I don't
like,
care.
like stuff like that? Like
He doesn't care.
I don't care. I'm not an environmentalist.
yeah.
No,
so.
to clarify though, I do think it's important to protect the environment. Like I don't think corporations should be dumping toxic sludge into waterways, for example.
Yeah.
I do believe that there should be some controls on corporations from they shouldn't be able to pollute the environment. However, I'm not against fossil fuels. I realize that fossil fuels have
I'm not fully
positive.
against them either. I just think we could use less, and we could make an effort to use less.
We should go nuclear. That's what I think.
Everyone should do a little effort.
Nuclear would be fantastic. Let me move it on though, because we've got a bunch of chats to get through.
So
longer.
you only want to know if she's
Pasty George donated $200. Chair 1, you don't want to go out into the world without makeup, otherwise you would feel sad. You are so full of shit, LMFAO.
Okay.
I don't wear makeup all the time.
Yeah, me
Pasty
either.
George, well put.
Watch my TikToks. There's no
Pasty
makeup in all of
George.
them.
Thank you.
I don't wear makeup. A lot of efforts.
You're a fucking liar! You're a fucking liar!
Klain says, Chair 6, stand your ground. You are 200% better than Chair 1. Yes, intentional mistakes. Negative 40C is negative 40F. Look it up or just check your ice heart.
It's not.
Chair 1, easy to talk about war when you've never been.
You're right, I've never been. You got me there.
Have you been?
Like what?
This guy been?